Push, Jeff, push.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. 2 nights in a row. We're back again on Thursday night, back on our regular night, I guess. I'm Jeff Malott. We got my buddy Ryan Lambert above me there. We are your hosts. Thanks for joining us again, 2 nights in a row, trying to get caught up on our missed weeks. We're super happy to bring back another awesome guest. This week, I'm going to try to read off a little bit of your bio, so hang tight with me, Cody. Former KBFA Angler of the Year, Lake Fork bass winner over the weekend, but the number 1 ranked angler in the KBN Power Rankings from 2019. We haven't had you on since. I know that's your greatest honor, most likely, in your fishing career. No, but hey, thanks, Cody, for coming on here with us, man, to talk about forking and a few other things, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Were you even aware you were the number 1 ranked angler in our Power Rankings?
I was. Yeah, I did know that. I did know that.
No. Jeff was supposed to mail you like a sash. Did you get that out, Jeff?
No, I meant to give it to him at Logan Martin, but I figured he wouldn't wear it around anyway, so I just kept it.
Hey, I don't want it. I've done some photo shoots with it for sure.
Some photo shoots.
We'll get you a Yak Addicts tiara and a KBN sash.
Yeah.
And we'll rock and roll with it.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah. Well, Cody, man, you're fresh off Lake Fork. We watched the Major League Fishing guys there for a couple days just smash them, and figured the kayak guys would too. So, I mean, what an event! Looked like there were a ton of big fish weighed in. You were on a slick, shallow bite back there where nobody could get to you. So let's just jump into it, man. Tell us how that went and how you figured that out.
Man, it was really a pretty cool deal. I mean, I've said it a few places now, but I was so fired up to get out there that morning. Like, I had never been at an event where it set up so well to be in a kayak. Like, I was going into areas with a lot of boats, but it wasn't an issue because you were pushing to fish that they couldn't get to. And you could tell so easily, like, fish that had been messed with by boats and fish that were well past those berms. That's what I've been calling them. Whatever the little fork grass is on the edge that you can keep paddling over. But, it was crazy. I mean, there was one stretch I found, I guess, on Friday that was probably – I poled probably 250, 300 yards and saw close to 100 bass, probably like 30 of them on a bed.
What?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of – most of them were 2 to 3 pounds. Like, they really were. Probably 7 to 8 of them were over 4 pounds. But, yeah, it was pretty neat little area. And it, like, even one of the areas I'd practiced in a lot that I hadn't been in was the same way. I mean, like, you could have went there and done the same – I don't know if you could have like caught as many big ones, but it was just you were completely away from boats, looking at a ton of bedding bass. Like it was neat. Yeah, it was a fun week. Yeah.
They literally couldn't get back there.
No, like the place I had like in this really famous like Birch Creek, this area. It's not where I fished, but like that's where I was gonna go fish. And man, it was unreal. Like I would have probably been 100 yards. Like they would have. There's no way they could have been 100 yards from me. And there was like 4-pounder, 4-pounder, 3-pounder, 3-pounder. And the issue with Birch was like I didn't have any like 6, 7, 8 pounders. Which like y'all were seeing on Fork, there was a lot of those being caught. There was a lot of those up shallow too.
Man, did you talk to some other people there? Were they all doing the same thing? It looked like everybody on the MLF live stream anyway was back shallow just catching them either spawning.
Yeah, it seemed like it took a few guys like some time, I think, just like, with the house I was staying at, like, but then by the end of the week, it seemed like everybody was in that, 10 to 15 inches of water type deal. But I mean, it was like, and it was kind of weird. Like I don't know. You always have those bites that maybe kind of throw you off during the week. And probably the best bite I had all week was punching. I didn't punch a whole lot, but it was in some of the deeper grass I punched and, lost like probably an 8.5 pounder or so. But yeah, I mean, that place, man, it's fun. I can talk about it for a long time. It's a pretty cool place.
Well, yeah, man, that's why we wanted you on here. I mean, that's one of my favorite lakes in the country anyway. I hated to miss that event, to be honest with you, but life gets in the way sometimes, and we, I had more important things I had to deal with. But how long did you get down there to scout that out, or did you just have a short time and stumble on those areas, or did you have a good amount of time to scout around?
So I got down there Wednesday, and I fished my favorite creek in the entire lake for the first 2 days, and felt really comfortable. Probably had like 100.5. On about had about 100-inch day my first day down there. And it was I felt pretty good about that area. Was going to expand on it. And on Friday, I decided to go back to where I had that pretty big day, the second day at the Hobie. And sure enough, the other side of the creek, there's it's all the way in the back of the creek. And there's a channel side and there's a super flat side with a lot more grass, a lot more berms you could push over and things like that. And I went in there Friday and, found an 8.5 pounder next to a 6.5 pounder next to a 6 pounder. And the males were 3.5, 4 pounds. And that was all, you kind of had to set up different for them, but that was all within sight. That was all within a flip away. So it was pretty cool. So yeah, I made a cast starting right there, throwing a buzzbait, and caught one first cast. It was one of the littler males. And then one of the big females rolled over it second cast. I'd been catching them all week on a buzzbait. I could really irritate those females enough to come up and get a buzzbait, but there wasn't that much wind on Saturday. So it was more of you had to really be looking at them and, irritate them. But
that's amazing, man. I saw, was it Jason Christie caught that giant on topwater on a frog?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was huge.
We caught
that got me excited watching that.
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff.
That was kind of unique having MLF there at the same time, and I'm sure there was a ton of other just bass boats and locals out there. Did you have any MLFers in your area?
So Friday, the big my biggest fish was 22 3/4. It weighed 832. There's a boat right next to him that had a scale. 2 or 3 people came in first 3 hours to go fish for that exact fish. Nobody caught it. So I ended up. But they didn't have the angle. That was the one you could see, but you had to cast to it. It was a pretty good little cast, but it was super shallow, so you could see it. But the way I was able to catch it was going in behind it. But yeah, a couple guys came in and tried to catch that. But on Saturday, the only guy I saw was Kevin Van Dam, and he fished that steep side that I'd fished in the Hobie and didn't catch anything and left. I mean, there was a lot of local traffic, even crappie fishermen, but that was about it. Now, I'm trying to think on Friday, after Mark Daniels Jr. caught that big 85 pounds or whatever he caught, he had kind of rolled into that area and had done a little bit of fishing. But I didn't see him catch anything either. But yeah, there wasn't that much traffic. It was I don't know, knowing Fork in the Spawn, that B water, I know I've said it a few times, but that kind of B, C plus water, I mean, it can kind of shine when there's a lot of people on the water. It really can.
Man.
So it's safe to say you kicked KBD's ass in that creek.
Oh, well, you couldn't have got to...
Say it, Cody. Say it. You did it.
I couldn't say that, no. No, somebody was one of a podcaster the other night was could you add 52 pounds or whatever it took on Saturday? And it was yeah, I mean, absolutely. It would have been completely, it would have been super easy. But that being said, you couldn't have got to the fish that we were able to fish for. There were so many bass that were so much easier to catch in a foot of water. There really was. And that's not my MO. I don't really do that. So this was new for me. So it was good. I'm excited.
You might want to switch your MO. That was probably
I know. Yeah. I
might
know.
be a sign.
I know.
What I hear on Bass Talk Live, they were throwing a little shade at KBD. Not throwing shade, but wondering why he was throwing a jerkbait for 2 days. So was he doing that when you saw him back there?
So I will say this. He was the only person that came in that creek that I actually felt like was fishing it. He was on the wrong side, but I felt like he was actually fishing it more appropriately than anybody.
Really?
You didn't tell him? Like, hey, cuz.
No. But no, like, cause like I said earlier, like moving topwaters were really big. Cause like if there were fish in 8 to 12 inches of water, they were extremely aggressive. So like covering a lot of water in that kind of, water column was key. And he was the only guy I saw that was like turning and burning the topwater. So I give him credit there, but no, he didn't catch anything.
So he just couldn't get to him. You're giving KV.
No, he really couldn't.
You're giving him an out. That's a good man. You're giving him an out.
Yeah, I try to.
He's all right. He's learning. He'll get there.
Yeah, man.
So how pivotal was your new boat? The recent switch to new canoe.
Yeah.
Were you able to use your motor in this one? Were you motoring around?
So it was actually that entire week. I think I caught 3 fish with my trolling motor down. I mean, obviously it got me everywhere and got me back, but I didn't catch a fish with the motor down. It was actually the only week I'd ever used a stakeout pole. Like I wasn't even using a power pole. I mean, it was so shallow and the fish were very, very spooky. And the other thing that was really cool was a high-rise new canoe seat. It was like I'd added like 4 inches, and I stood like every fish I caught, caught standing up, and that was really that was pretty big. Was being able to get a little higher than most people. But yeah, no, it was that and like using the scupper hole with the stakeout pole. Like that's new for me. I know a lot of people it's like an everyday thing, but I'd never done that, so it was pretty cool.
Oh man, you're coming into your own right here in front of our eyes. Fishing shallow, using scupper holes.
Yeah, old school.
Talking about
but you liking the boat pretty well though.
Oh yeah, I really am. Like I've always wanted a very open, fishable platform with recessed rod holders. And having the front hatch with storage. Like it's all the things you get out of a Hobie per se, which is what I came from. But it's you don't have the pedals in the middle. It's. Now the way those pursuits are designed, they track so well with a motor guide trolling motor. I mean, they really, really do.
Is that going to affect the tournaments that you fish? Or are you going to keep your Hobie to fish some
it really won't.
pedal tournaments, or what's happening?
So I look at everything on a very year-to-year basis, and you look at the rest of the year with Hobie. I'm going to be on Lake Dardanelle, in Jeff and I's backyard, and I'm going to be up in the slop with that, and I'll be the same thing at La Crosse at the Hobie. So it's like I wouldn't have used pedals at any of those places anyways.
So you're not marking Hobie off the list of tournament trails by any means. You're still going to try to get the TOC.
No, yeah. I mean, I was at the first Lake Fork Hobie, 2-3 weeks ago now. So yeah. I'm definitely continuing to fish, as many of those as I can. I mean, honestly, at this point, making KBF and Hobie more of a, focal point is going to be a kind of bigger part for the rest of the year. Whenever that gets started, if it does, we'll see.
So, Cody, were you on the Hobie team, or were you just had a Hobie that you fished out of?
I wasn't. Yeah, I got a Hobie like an old used clearance Hobie for I think I got it for $1,500. I mean, it's a 2012 Hobie, but I had it for 4 years.
See, that's the thing is, me included. I think a bunch of people just assumed you rolled on the Hobie team, and that's why I think people were shocked when they saw that move happen.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Cody and Siddiqui were like the Backstreet Boys of they were like in the back alley of Hobie, trying to jump people. And now they've moved on. Now Siddiqui's native and Cody's new canoe, and the world is upside down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that caught a lot of people off guard. Had you been considering that move for a while, or what made you choose? What made you kind of make that jump?
So, I have another one in my backyard. I can walk outside and show y'all right now. Actually, Jeff, it was in one of the NSKAs at Beaver. It was the only other time I'd fished out of a new canoe pursuit was actually at Beaver.
Was that the time you came up here and then drove home because you thought you did bad, but I had to message you and say you were in the money?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I think it was that one. Yeah. Because if you remember, I asked you if I could use 2 kayaks in the same tournament.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
it was I fished out of my Hobie, like caught a limit, and then I got in the pursuit, ran 3 miles to like a couple bed and baths, and like caught them, came back, and then got back in the Hobie. But yeah, that was
and then went home.
Yeah, and then went home because I had lost some good ones that day. I remember. I was pretty bummed out.
Yeah, we're sitting around the weigh-in like, where's Cody? Dude's cashing checks and driving back to Northeast Arkansas. No, that was pretty cool. We're glad you made the trip over for that one, but yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So Ryan already asked, is that going to change your tournament focus? It doesn't sound like it is.
No,
still
not
plug
at all.
along. You obviously just qualified for the Bass Championship. You already did that because you did that at Logan Martin. You and I tied. You beat me with a bigger fish.
We were like 25, 26 or something.
Yeah,
I didn't catch a fish till like 1:30. I mean, that day was so bad.
That day was freaking trash, man. That was freaking trash. I saw you and I was like, screw this. I'm going 2 miles down more. Like, nobody's doing any good. And then like I saw Christine at the weigh-in. She's like, we both caught limits after you left. And I was like, good.
No,
that's awesome.
Crazy.
Good job.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. It was pretty funny. I was just like, I was throwing a spinnerbait and holding it in the current, like wasn't even turning the reel handle, and they were coming up smacking it. It was funny.
That's wild.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah.
What do you think so far?
I'll be fine if I don't have to relive that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
With the Bass, this is their first year. There's been a couple tournaments. You were at both of them. I know myself, Ryan, a lot of us that have done this for a little bit and actually run clubs, we were excited but skeptical about how they were going to pull this off. So what's been your impression right off the bat as far as what they put together?
It seems like it's been really good. I know a lot of people have been a little, I don't know, not bummed out. Question maybe some of the paybacks from some of the BASS events. But I think they've been fine. I don't know. It's their first year. Like them, from my understanding, are going to like a 2-day tournament thing next year, which I think will be great. It seems like to have a very established club, it needs to be 2-day tournaments. It makes a big difference. It really does. But no, I've loved them. I really have. I didn't get to get on the Bassmaster Classic stage, but even last weekend with the coronavirus and like not being able to shake people's hands afterwards, it was still. They were still like, they were very, welcoming, and it was a good event for sure.
What did y'all do?
What kind of venue did they have?
So it was actually, I know a lot of people know it. It was at Lake Fork Marina. It was in that restaurant. They kind of had a backdrop up against the back of that restaurant. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't intended to be there, but it was just an open environment, given the time.
Gotcha.
It made sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Lake Fork Marina, was it? It was outside. You said it wasn't in the restaurant.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be. It was just because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was in the smoking section or non-smoking section of Tiffany's, because they're still both in there.
I think it's all non-smoking now. I really think it's changed.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I haven't seen it in a year now.
That place is awesome. Smoking or
not,
the food
really
is awesome in there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm the same way, Cody. I think that they've done a pretty good job, or a great job. The first event, the registration and all the way through was flawless. I know there's people that talk about the payouts.
I thought it was as fast as Tourney X ever worked. It seemed like it was rolling through.
Payouts is kind of a slippery slope because, used to, like, we're fishing Guntersville last year, had 166 people, and first place took home $2,000. Like, that's rough. But now Hobie's kind of come along, and I don't want to say spoiled us, but spoiled us. Like, because now, like, I just won $1,600 in fourth place in fourth place. In the regular event. Like, they're paying pretty good and pretty deep. And I hope, I know it's their first year, but I think that's something to definitely take note of, like kind of what people look for. And I'm not saying it should be 100% payout at all, but if you can get these big time, big money sponsors on board, we can kick up the pot a little bit. I don't think that would hurt anybody's feelings.
I mean, but to be fair, they are paying deeper than any other kayak series has ever paid.
Yeah.
I mean, even if that's just doubling your money or getting your entry fee back, I mean, that's I was kind of in that boat. I mean, that was kind of that was nice. It really was.
Yeah, and Logan Martin to get $400 for finishing 26th was pretty nice. Paid for
that's crazy.
Gas money home and paid for a little bit of food. So it certainly still doesn't get you out of the hole, but it definitely helps with expenses and stuff like that. So I guess it's like Ryan said, it's a slippery slope. You want to ride that line a little bit, and I think they do offer some good value with their exposure. The exposure's been good. Same day updates with photos and articles and magazines. And Hobie's done the same thing. Hobie's, AJ's on point always with the live updates and live coverage on the water. So I think they're pushing. And
they also have a media company working with them too. Hobie, they'll call and do interviews post tournament and put out some content later on to kind of keep the spotlight burning longer than a day or two.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job, but both of them have. We're going to get into talking about some of the, I don't know when we're going to have another tournament. I mean, geez, with this coronavirus thing,
right? I don't know.
Game and Fish Commission shutting everything down. So it's as good as time as any to kind of talk about different rules and things that are going on out there. There was a thread on KBN, I don't know, a week or two ago. I think I posted it just to have something to talk about, but it was pre-fishing, and will we get to a point where we have hard pre-fishing cutoffs, and should there be? Should there be an official practice period and, some off-limits before that? What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think there should be, absolutely. I mean, I think 3 days before. It's hard to say the time before that, especially because there's so many locals and local clubs that live on a lot of these lakes. It's harsh putting that at 30 days. It really is. I know a lot of BASS events do that, but yeah, I mean, I would love to see it where it's just 3 days before the event with maybe a 2-week cutoff before that or 30 days. I don't know. It's hard to say.
A lot changes in 2 weeks. I mean, hell, a lot changes in 2 days generally. But I mean, I can see it. We do the 30-day thing for our state club, and from 30 days before, that lake is literally completely different. Like everything's different when you show up. I like the 30 days, but I see what you're saying. Having all these local clubs. You still want to fish tournaments, and not every place is jammed with 6 lakes around it. They don't have that many options. Some clubs have to fish all their tournaments on 1 or 2 bodies of water all year. So I can definitely see how that's kind of a hindrance.
One of my thoughts was, and this may be too complicated, but open it up the 2 weekends prior, but close it down the weekdays where people can't roll in there and fish it for 10 days straight or 7 days straight or something like that.
The problem with that is, coming right in before the tournament, though, you're wanting to pull those people in. You're wanting the hotels and restaurants to see that effect of having people in for 5 or 6 days, trying to prep for this tournament, I think.
Yeah, I mean, open it up the 3 days prior, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but before that, have 2 official practice.
Have the weekends open?
2 official practice weekends prior to those 3 days to give the local clubs or whatever a chance to still be out there. I don't know.
So what if you did the first 2 weekends of a month-long period, you could fish on the weekends or Saturday, right, or however you want to set it up, but then have a solid 2-week dead period before official practice.
Yeah. So we're sitting here solving problems. Look at there.
That's what we do, Jeff.
That's what we do. Put it in writing. Let it be written. Let it be done.
Start problems, solve problems. 2 things that we do very well.
Start problems. Point out problems.
Point out problems. Sorry. True. Touche.
Yeah. Could be thought of as starting problems. I don't know. We like to talk.
Starting them if they're a secret.
Aggressive discussions. That's what we like to do. Aggressive. No. We have a lot of fun.
And arm wrestling.
2 open weekends won't work. Randy Creason. If you guys are watching this, please shoot us some questions for Cody. Comments on what we just talked about. We want to hear them. Everybody's on social distancing and
Randy, tell Jeff why that's a dumb idea.
Yeah. Tell me. Let's see. Have 1 to 3 day cutoff, 7-day cutoff would be great. 2 open weekends won't work. Some people only have weekdays off. We don't all work Monday through Friday. Well, yeah, that's true. But we're worried about the majority, Randy. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding, man.
Dang, Joe.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Trolling motors only.
Yeah.
Tell them, Jeff. Tell them your demands.
No aftermarket trolling motors. Only packages such as the Old Town.
Only factory equipped. Integrated trolling motors.
Integrated trolling motors.
Only boats with no front hatch storage.
Handheld remote controls only. That's all we allow. No.
Oh.
No.
Mel Ash wants to know where are his damn boots, Cody.
They've been in my house for probably since the FLW KBF Cup or something like that.
That's been a minute.
I failed to send those back for a little while now. Yeah.
Do they fit you?
Poor Mel.
I haven't tried to put them on them. I found them again yesterday, though.
Okay, I was going to say, you're way taller than Mel. There's no way they fit you.
Yeah. No, I don't think they do, but yeah. I do have them.
Cody's a lot taller, but his feet are tiny. That's it.
They are. Yeah.
That's the key to that. That's the key to that bed fishing. You stand up and walk softly, and you can just flip.
Yeah.
Quietly.
It makes sense. It's making a lot more sense now.
Yeah. It's almost an unfair advantage. I don't know. Josh Evans, anybody here? The KBF NC has moved again. We were going to talk about that. We can wait. Or we can jump on that right now, man.
I don't care, man. Whatever. You make the call.
Let's rock and
You're
roll.
smarter than me.
No, let's rock and roll. We all got we're going a little insane being locked in. Although I had to go to work today, but yeah, let's talk about it.
I mean, so the rumor is, yes, it has moved again to October. Was the latest date that I heard, which is kind of putting us in a rough spot in Tennessee because that happens to be the date of the Tennessee State Championship, where we have the top 7 guys from the 16 local clubs going to fish, the Tennessee State Championship in Knoxville. So that really sucks, as much as you hear about working with local clubs and growing the grassroots level and all this stuff, to put the national championship on the same date as the Tennessee State Championship. And if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, is that not on the same date as the Arkansas State Championship?
It's on the Arkansas State Championship date, which I was already conflicted about because it's also on the same date as the Lone Star Throwdown, which I've been asked to go to for the last 2 or wanted to go to for the last 2 years. So that's 3 pretty big events that it's going to, and in the fall, I don't know. I mean, it's a freaking mess because the fall is already loaded with stuff. The spring's loaded with stuff for that matter. So what do you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a lose-lose for everybody here. I don't
the
know.
Trick is, and I know why it had to be moved in the spring. I do. But, we made a conscious effort to schedule around all this stuff. Just like the TOC, which is on the same body of water as our state championship. We communicate. We try to schedule around this stuff so anglers don't have to choose, because you have 2 big, really good events that you both want to fish. So now we have 45 anglers in cast that have already paid for the KBF National Championship. So, I mean, do they pull out their $16,000 because they don't know what they can fish now? I mean, that puts everybody in a tough spot. And I don't know what Arkansas's attendance is looking like for the national championship. I'm sure Texas has a bunch of guys that are going to run off,
Yeah, Arkansas travels well. And I just saw another in the comments that is a big one, that's also West Virginia's state championship. And they have a huge club in West Virginia.
That's on their state championship too? Did we just pick state championship weekend? What just happened
I
there?
just think it's normal for a lot of clubs to do it the first weekend in October because the seasons are wrapped up, and you know what I mean? It just kind of makes sense logistically to do that. So yeah, I mean, it's right before hunting season in most places, and then it's after.
That's why we did it, because we got a lot of hunters. We want the weather to cool off a little bit. We used to do it in September, and it was miserable. Like, you would die trying to, especially pre-fish for 10 hours a day in September. Like, it was tough.
Jamie just said set the rules. I'm assuming he meant set the dates. If they fish, they fish. Not everyone's going to please.
How many dates are we going to set though, Jamie? Like, I mean, we're on the 3rd set now. Like, oof.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Cody? I mean, what is there anything that can be done? Is this going to be one of those years where you just got to suck it up and deal with it and move on to 2021?
I didn't know it ever got. I mean, I knew it got moved in November. I didn't know it got removed. But yeah, I mean, that would be kind of crazy. I mean, I know, like, obviously NSKA in Tennessee's clubs are some of the biggest ones, and I know West Virginia's is as well. So yeah, that's a lot of people. I mean, it definitely affects a lot of people. But I don't know. I mean, fall time classics are kind of, I don't know. That's how it honestly all started. Most classics were all in the fall before they were super early in the year. So I'm not like too upset seeing a fall classic. So then putting in November or something like, I am kind of cool with that. You see a lot less boat traffic. A guy might be able to actually find a pattern that he could run, and actually, you may actually get a pretty true winner. I don't know.
I'm good with a fall bite. I just think working with especially like the bigger clubs that send 50 or 60 guys in to support this stuff, like you probably ought to talk to them a little bit, on the forefront. Steve-O just made a good point. 110 anglers fishing cast, and 11 of them qualify for the Bassmaster Championship out of that too. So, I mean, that's another incentive on top of the cash and prizes that we bring to the table with that stuff. And I mean, you got to look at who's fishing the Tennessee State Championship. Russ Snyder's probably one of the top KBF angler right now. That's our state champ. Like Josh Stewart. I mean, Adam Reiser. We got. Yeah, I mean, it's not like people aren't traveling around supporting this stuff. Across the country. Like, I think they deserve that much respect, if anything.
Yeah, and to play devil's advocate here and say KBF is in a tight spot because, frankly, I don't care where they put it in October or November. Who can fish the state championship one weekend and then travel the next? Let's say it was the next weekend. Or who can fish the national championship one and travel the next? I mean, it's tough. There's a lot going on right then. So, it'd almost be better if they pushed it way later in November, like Cody was saying. And, I guess I don't know how Guntersville is in late November or if anybody would even fish it then, but
it's 15 minutes from my house. I fully intend to fish the national championship. I have fully intended to fish the national championship. If it falls the same weekend as the Tennessee State Championship, hands down, I'm fishing the Tennessee State Championship. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, those are my friends. Those are my people. Like, that's our local deal. Like, that's me and Steve-O run this club. We've been doing it for 5 years. Like, that's where my loyalty lies. I'm not gonna get bullied out of our own state championship.
That's where all of us are, I think, because I've always been the guy that says all of this depends and is propped up by the local clubs. Without the local clubs,
for sure,
none of this happens. So
and we're about to see that right now because these larger events can't take place. So what's going to support you and give you availability to still go out and compete? It's going to be your local clubs. I mean, that's the beauty of it. That's why they're there.
Yeah, and like Cody was saying, Cody hadn't really got to fish NSK much, and this may be your year, man. You maybe get to come down and do some of it.
I want to make sure. I'm going to check on the pre-fishing rules, but I thoroughly intend on being on Beaver Fork tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's all, what's tomorrow? Friday?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't. You're done. You can't.
That's what I thought. I thought it was something like that. Like, that's what I was going to check. I really didn't think I could. But
Jeff's watching your balloon blow up, and he's just standing there with a needle. Like,
I had to put my tournament director hat on for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. When's pre-fishing? It cuts off on Wednesday. Cuts off on Wednesday.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I thought it ended on Wednesday, but I still might go. It's okay.
How does that work? Somebody explain Arkansas to me real quick. I don't know that.
What do you mean?
So y'all have a pre-fishing cutoff for your regular tournaments, or
Wednesday, the week of. It's pretty simple.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just because, like I think the guy said earlier, not everybody works Monday through Friday, and some guys only work nights, or they can go out there and pre-fish right up till Friday night because they just have different shifts and stuff. So it just equalizes a little bit, cuts it off. Wednesday.
I got you. So that's not we don't do that in our local club. I mean, guys have pretty much. and sometimes it really bites them in the ass pretty hard. They'll go out on Friday afternoon and freaking stroke some fish.
Yeah.
And then go into the tournament and they're like, man, I didn't get a bite today. Yeah. Well, you put up 102 yesterday, so that maybe why. I don't know.
I'll tell you what happens here, man, is especially in Northwest Arkansas, Beaver Lake's good lake. It's fun to fish. It's got a diverse fishery, but it's the only big lake within our region in Northwest Arkansas. We've got a big club. So we end up doing a lot of road runners. We'll break the lake into sections and do, north end, south end, stuff like that. And we just, the idea was because we're fishing smaller areas with 70 anglers, we didn't want them beating it up right until Friday, and give it a couple of days. That was kind of the premise. Or if we were doing road runners or small lakes or whatever.
That's what we do on Chick. We'll do like 2 dam to dam tournaments. but then we try to break it up. We'll pick like three ramps or something, just so people aren't always in their comfort zone, because, I mean, most of the guys here have a honey hole, that usually holds some good fish on Chickamauga, and we know each other, so you're not trying to go cut in on somebody else's stuff. So we try to break it up in ramps just so everybody kind of has a pretty decent shot at equalizing the field for points. Steve-O wants to know, Cody, what are your hobbies when you're not fishing? Is that a time? Does that happen?
Man, honestly, most hobbies are some sort of fishing. Might be fly fishing or,
respooling.
Yeah, I mean, I really like running boats. Like, I like boats a lot. I mean, as far as like duck hunting, I duck hunt a whole lot.
Oh, okay.
Like, we've got a 60-day season, and
how far are you outside of Jonesboro?
So we're a little south. Like, that's more we're not too far from Jonesboro.
I went to like Beach Grove or something. You know where that is?
Yeah.
Beach Grove.
Yeah.
So I was there for the opener this past year.
Yeah,
that was a nice little spot.
Probably 40 miles south of you.
Dude, we beat the brakes off of them on the opener.
It was a really good season. Yeah. It
wasn't bad. It was way better than last year. I'll admit that.
But
I hope it's better next year.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's longer. I was just, the out-of-state laws they set on duck hunting in Arkansas was pretty wild. It made a world of a difference for us. It really did. Yeah. I woke up later this year than I'd have woken up in probably 6 years.
I didn't wake up on Gunnersville because there were no ducks.
Yeah.
We used to have good birds here, and they're gone.
Yep, I believe that. But no,
what else do you do besides duck hunting?
Yeah. From Stuttgart, I'm like hour 10, hour 20.
That's not bad. Right.
Yeah, but I'm like in the heart of like Hurricane and Bald Knob, like a couple of like the big federal green timber reservoirs.
Oh, that's pretty slick.
Oh yeah.
You run it in a boat, or you ever take your kayak out?
So I run a longtail mud motor.
Oh shit! Old school, son.
My buddy's got a 25. Most of the limits are 25 to 50.
Yeah.
What refuge, but my buddy's got a race in 25, and I race like on our marsh section that's like longtail country, which was kind of hot this year. Like, we had a lot of longtail, like jumping levee stuff. So
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like a 16 horse Duro Max, which is like, it's kind of like the Harbor Freight Predator engine that I turned into like a direct drive, like longtail. Yeah,
we used to have the old Kawasaki longtails. There's a lot of beaver dams to jump on Gunnersville. There's some good frog holes on the other side of those beaver dams too. Unfortunately, all the ducks left, so now we don't have to mess with that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now, as far as
do you fish 10 killer, Jeff?
I saw him. We don't fish 10 killer, but there's a group out of Fort Smith, which is about an hour south of here, and they do. So we've got 6 groups in Arkansas working on 7, and we branch out. The River Valley kayak anglers, they reach over into Oklahoma a little bit and fish Arkansas River, 10 killer, and some other stuff. 10 killer's a good lake, though. Now, Cody, other fishing hobbies, you do some trout fishing, like you said, fly fishing. You say you're about to go float Crooked Creek, maybe? When are you going to do that?
Yeah. I don't usually say that one so loud on,
Oh, man, never mind. You're going to go float the buffalo? You floating the buffalo, maybe?
Yeah, the buffalo. Yeah. I'll go check that one. It's actually
I'm proud of Crooked Creek, man. That's one of our good fisheries around here.
It is, yeah. The last
not anymore.
So, the buffalo, like the first ever national river by Teddy Roosevelt, like that was in Arkansas, and that's 40 minutes from Crooked Creek. But it's been closed like quite a bit the last 2 years from deaths and high water and things like that. So they've started running a lot of commercial like shuttles on Crooked. So there has been a lot. There's been more people. Oh. Yeah, there has been a lot more people recently.
That's
the fishing's still like 150, 250 a day, but definitely like you see people now. You used to never see people.
Yeah, we used to do it overnights. You might see one other canoe or something. I mean, you just
maybe. Yeah. Like, and they probably don't have a rod type deal.
No,
like
they
boys
just float.
Something. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's an awesome place. Well, sorry, cat's out the bag, but it sounds like the outfitters are on it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they are. It's okay. Everything, it all gets exposed.
Yeah. And you still got to get there. It's not like it's in town. You got to get over.
Yeah, the takeout points are far and few between. So
So
I promise there's 0% of me that will drive to Arkansas to fish again. I learned that lesson the hard way.
You're coming to Dardanelle, man. Come on.
Yeah, you'll like.
I don't know.
Dardanelle's like Tennessee River Lakes, man. Sorta.
Are you sure?
I mean, it's a river impoundment.
I don't know. Is there grass on it?
Yeah, there's some grass.
Totally depends. Yeah, I mean, there's always duckweed, but you could actually have real grass there for sure.
Yeah, some pads.
Wichita taught me that I need to find shallow water and some grass somewhere for me to feel anywhere near comfortable.
Yeah, you find it on Dardanelle. You find a little bit on Dardanelle.
I'll take duckweed all day.
Yeah,
give me a D-bomb and some duckweed.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah. There's some pads there. There's some good stuff in there.
Pads. Oh, depending on the years, you'll find milfoil and stuff. I haven't seen it in the last couple of years, but it does happen.
I like some milfoil now.
Yeah, Dardanelle's good, man. You'll like it. Come on over.
All right, drop me a pin, Jeff. I'll ride on out.
It's easy to get to. It's easy to get to. It's right on I-40. Just roll on.
Yep.
Roll on from
Tennessee. I love I-40. It tore both fenders off my trailer.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Good street.
What in the world? I'm getting DMs about Old Town PDLs while we're trying to have this dang conversation.
Oh, man.
I thought it was somebody.
They still making those?
The big water PDL, Sportsman PDL. They just rebrand, brother.
The Sportsman. Yeah, baby.
I should have brought my other hat in here.
New stickers.
Yeah. Hey, Chris Jones chimed in about 10 Killer. Said March 28th next week. 10 Killer River Valley Kayak Angler event on 10 Killer. So there you go, people that were wondering. You been to 10 Killer, Cody?
I have not. I've been to Grant, never been to 10 Killer.
10 Killer's a pretty awesome lake. Big smallies in there.
I believe it.
Big smallies.
Is that the same river chain as Grand, or is that a little different?
It comes off, the Illinois River feeds it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be different. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, cool. Good lake. That's where our boy Cole Sykes, the NSK AOI went down last year and won his way into TSC. On 10 Killer.
Dude can fish. Yeah. He can catch them.
So Eric Siddiqui says BTC for life. Funny how well the BTC got. I got you. Guys doing tournament series where you can't talk on the phone during a tournament.
Wait a minute. He's admitting the Bluetooth crew?
He did. He did.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know about all that. So tell us about the Bluetooth crew, Cody. He must be hitting you up for that.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
He said, I plead the fifth. Get me out of
here.
here.
What you're talking about.
That's quite true.
Switch podcasts on us.
I think maybe what Eric means by that is he just has like a Find My Phone app on Cody's phone where he can just follow him or something like that.
Oh, Lord. Jeff. Watch out.
I'm just playing.
He didn't get signed up for Fort, though.
He
Siddiqui was texting me the whole damn time on Norman.
Yeah. He was
bored at the house. I wish he would have rode on down for that. We would have had a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I ain't saying
nothing. Man, you ever got a bunch of fish up there?
Dude, that place was about the right time. So it's got a couple steam plants on it, so there's hot water pumping in. So, I mean, on the lower end, you were seeing water temps mid-60s. I mean, those fish were ready to get down.
Yeah.
They were in the right spot.
That's pretty cool.
That was awesome. You know what? It was awesome to see two events like that go down on the same weekend. Both broke 100, even with all the Corona stuff going on. I mean, that's a pretty big statement for our sport. You know, not two ends of the country, but, middle of the country over there on the East Coast. Both busting 100 on the same day. That's awesome. Couldn't have seen that a few years ago, I don't think.
No, there's no way.
I wasn't mad at Norman. It was good. It fished a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Eric
looked like an Arkansas lake and fished a little better, huh?
Dude,
that's what I figured.
I would have traded Norman and Wichita in a heartbeat. I caught some big old spots on Norman, but I just didn't. I bet on the spots on Wichita. I caught some pre-fishing, but dude, when I found that largemouth bite on day 2, I mean, it was just like getting kicked in the side of the head. After not catching shit on day 1, I was like, man, there ain't no way.
I said, Ryan,
no way I just stumbled up on this.
I said, Ryan, you fish some islands? What islands? Hey, the other way, son.
Yeah, I found them.
Yeah,
I found them.
That's funny. Hey, and you know
Lesson
what?
learned.
Fishing in Arkansas is not so bad. You need to give it another chance, man.
All right.
All right. Hey,
It's very different throughout the state.
Siddiqui's throwing all kinds of heat out tonight. He said, I guess Cody should have followed me on Logan Martin.
Dang. I was about to say, Eric did whoop my ass on Logan Martin, so I can't say much about it.
Man. Yeah. This is what happens when Siddiqui's home for more than 2 weeks in a row. He starts getting hostile. Crazy shit happens. Dang.
All right.
That's true. That is true.
Well, who knows?
Summer's whooping his ass every day is what's happening. Eric's got 2 black eyes and missing a tooth.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Man, yeah. He's a little heated tonight, but it's all right. We can take that. Keep it
Eric ain't never heated. Okay. He gets sideways every now and then. He don't get real mad.
Everybody's coming in the comments tonight. Todd Patrick coming in there.
What's going on? Jesse Mitchell.
People are bored.
Jesse will strum us a little tune on her guitar. Saw that on the face space.
Siddiqui said he's hanging on by a thread.
Siddiqui and Todd. So I saw they're doing a Corona Classic or something. A little tournament on, is it Cedar Creek?
I think so. Kentucky Lake or Kentucky area. Yeah. Yeah.
Todd just put it up there. Cedar Creek, Kentucky next weekend. Y'all in? Actually, Todd, I'm not in. We're running a tournament on Guntersville with ourselves, TBKA, and Real Crazy, the Georgia guys. And I'm trying to talk Steve-O into doing a side pot, like $100, $150 buy-in, run it on Tourney X, and kind of have a little high stakes on the side for the guys that we're planning on coming in for the national championship anyway. So the bite should be good. The water's still they've still got the floodgates open on both ends of Guntersville, so it's still moving through pretty good, but it should equalize by next week, I think.
That's awesome. Hopefully I'll smash them out there.
I hope. It's Guntersville. It'll happen. Yeah. They're out there somewhere.
Siddiqui called it the Cabin Fever Classic. I get that. Everybody's going nuts. I'm going to try to get out this weekend myself. So.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Cody, you got anything else you want to throw out? Any other sponsors you want to talk about? Or what do you got?
Some of the new one for me, Dakota Lithium, it kind of, Dakota Lithium made it all possible in a lot of ways for as far as I've had a motor guide on a new canoe in the past, and I really wasn't able to go that far. And that Dakota Lithium made it where I'm going like 20, 22 miles like duration time. So that paired with the Pursuit, man, that was really big. It's been sweet for me the last couple of weeks, and I hope to get back out there and start seeing if it wasn't just a fluke. Actually keep it going, see how it feels. So
yeah.
But that and Fish USA, I mean, they kind of got me all around the country last year, and we're off to another good start this year. So, that's about it for me.
Let me ask you real quick. Sorry, Ryan. I'm intrigued by this Dakota Lithium because I talked to Casey a little bit about it because obviously Old Town came out with the Sportsman with that motor or with that Minn Kota drive on the front of it. It's a 45-pound thrust, and it runs a good long time with the lead acid 100 amp on it, but I was curious about your run time with that lithium battery. Big time difference.
So I had an Optimum 6-pack. Even they're like $280 batteries.
Right.
Like they're like the 6-pack Optimums. I was getting like 4.5 to 5 miles duration on full speed, and with the Dakota Lithium, I'm getting closer to 20. I mean, it's in my opinion, it's over 4 times
really?
more powerful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're expensive, but it is like. I wouldn't use it if I just had a lead acid battery. Like, there's no way. Like, it wouldn't be worth it for me.
See, I ran mine all day at Logan Martin. Still had juice left, but I didn't run it full power all day, and I only went a couple miles and then a couple miles back and then kept it slow. So I'm just curious. I haven't really put it to the test as far as, max range. So,
if you burn them, you don't get much more than 4 miles. Yeah. But, like, if you keep them on high and roll with them, it's about 4, somewhere in there.
So I'm seriously contemplating putting a trolling motor on something here. Does your trolling motor, Cody, does it automatically deploy, or how are you managing that?
So it doesn't. Some people have a string on them, but they're when you cut that shaft down, like most people are finding somewhere between 36 and 32 to be like really pretty perfect. When they're that short, they pretty much deploy themselves. I mean, in picking them up, all I ever really do is just, hit the button and just like pick up the cord. Like I don't even have like a G-force cable, I don't have anything like that, to help pick it up.
So pretty well. So the pedal's up on the very front of the kayak though, right? Like the deployment pedal. I think I've got an XI3 on my duck boat actually, but it's like, so you still have to hit the pedal to deploy. There's not a shortcut for that.
No, just click it. Yeah.
All right. Does Motor Guide make one that automatically deploys? Do you know?
So New Canoe actually has a little kit, I believe, where it's like it's a little thing you drill through it and pull on it. Like I know Derek Brendle's got a really good video about how he deploys and redeploys his.
Ryan, just say the word, brother. I'll get you one of them sportsmans where it's already set up in there. You just drop it right down.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm okay. Does that one deploy, Jeff? Does it auto deploy?
It's on a spring-loaded deal. You just pull string sitting by your seat and deploy. You pull it down and pop the string, and it goes automatically up. So,
tell you what, you find me somewhere to put my rods, Jeff, and we're gonna talk.
All right,
I gotta have my rods in my boat. All right.
I got you.
I ain't trying to build nothing like Duke where it looks like a damn B-52 with rods going out on both sides. I'm not trying to drop bombs on them. All right.
Is a Brad Case spider rig an option?
Anything Brad Case is an option for me. I'll go ahead and tell you that.
All right. Randy Creason asked you real quick, Cody, how many amp hour battery are you running to get 22 miles on that Dakota?
It's 100. Yeah, and I wouldn't say I've confirmed. I've confirmed around 18 for sure. I know of guys that I just kind of know of people that have gone around 20, but I've confirmed about 18 on a 100 amp hour Dakota Lithium.
Okay.
And that thing's got Spotlight on it, right?
He does, yep.
Yes.
Okay, because I saw, you in that current on Logan Martin, you were like, boop, and then, fishing the riprap. Like, it was
cool.
Pretty good.
It was a good tournament for it.
Jeff got mad at me because I posted that little comparison thread on KBN a couple days later, and then now Jeff owns a Honda Pilot, and I'm not real sure. I can't.
That was all a joke. I would never drive a truck. I'm a station wagon for life.
Hey, you got loyalty, man. I appreciate that.
Actually, the station
you got the
wagon,
SUV of SUVs.
The station wagon was the compromise. I really liked my minivan, but Ashley said enough was enough, so I went away from the minivan.
Oh, what kind of minivan did you have?
I used to have a Honda minivan back in the day when I had the kids little.
An Odyssey?
Yeah, I love that thing.
Okay.
I used to roll my.
Well, at least you're staying loyal.
Yeah, I used to roll my AAU team I coached around in that minivan. It was the juice. Nerdiest team in the world. No, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, station wagon for life. Sorry, boys.
I'm glad you stayed consistent throughout your life, Jeff.
Yeah,
that's what I'm most proud of here.
Function over coolness. Uh-oh. Ashley's in the comments. That's a no-go on the minivan. Sorry.
Oh, shit. Here we go. We're out. Got to go.
Is
she going to screen our calls for the live call-in show?
I haven't talked to her about that yet, but I bet I could get her to do it.
Shit, sorry.
Yeah, I bet I could get her to do it. I bet. So we're going to try to pull something off next week. If everyone's watching this, I'll post some information on it. We're going to try to pull off a live call-in show, radio-type show. We'll see what happens. We've got a history of audio and video difficulties, so I'm ready for whatever may happen. But we're going to try it maybe next week or the week after, whenever I can get that software together. That'll be fun. I don't know who we'll have on with us, but Ryan and I will cook up something fun. So
just don't patch anybody through with a Dallas area code. If one of the Allens get on,
Clifton Allen should be.
We're going to have to.
Clifton Allen. I hung out with him at the Hobie event down on Fork, and he's actually one of the nicest, funniest guys in person you'll ever meet, man.
Cool. Yeah.
I drove to his damn house and he wouldn't come hang out with me. I got to meet the good Alan. Clifton wouldn't even come see me.
The good Alan. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Neither would Ugly Twin Pendergraph. Ugly Twin wouldn't even come out and have a beer with me.
Bless it. If you just come to Arkansas, man, we got good people here. We'd hung out. I guess there's no business in Arkansas.
I did. I came to Arkansas, and I didn't get to hang out with anybody from Arkansas. There wasn't anybody. As a matter of fact, they didn't even sell beer. I had to drive 7 counties over to get a drink down there.
You must have went to Russellville.
Well, I don't know where I went, man. It was terrible.
All right. Well, Cody, man, we sure appreciate you, man, taking the time. I know, you're kind of locked up right now anyway, so always good to jump on and talk a little fishing. congrats again on your big win. If you don't have anything else for us, Ryan, what you got? Anything?
I'm good.
No, I'm good, man. Come on down. Anybody wants to come out next weekend, we'll throw that side pot together and see if we can't have a little bit of fun on Gunnersville.
All right. Well, hey, we'll wrap it up, and hopefully the tournament season kicks off again in a month or two, and we get over this coronavirus, and we'll see everybody back out on the road sooner rather than later. But we appreciate everybody, and we out of here.
Thank
All
you,
right,
guys.
later.